Okay, Jennifer Fuller is with us today. Jennifer brought us Mr. Brad McDonald.
Yes.
Tell me about ER nurse in...
He is in Santa Fe
Okay.
for his first travel assignment.
Tell me about how Brad got to you.
So he actually posted something on one of the Facebook sites, and I just happened to comment, and we started chatting, and kind of took it from there. And it took a little bit, and we got him in Santa Fe.
So first-time traveler.
Yep.
First time with, what, a year and a half experience?
Almost 2 years now.
Okay.
Yep. So it took a little bit, but it actually worked out perfect because he has a relative in Santa Fe.
Oh.
And he's from Iowa, so
Yeah.
It's nice just having somebody else there that knows the area and kind of go out and explore with. And he's just now starting to hike and do some fun things.
It sounds like he travels with the dog. Yeah. Super fun to talk to. I'm very excited for everyone to see this one. Jennifer, thank you so much for bringing Brad to us today.
Yes.
I think everybody will enjoy this.
Thank you.
Brad, welcome to the Atlas Life. All right, Brad McDonald is with us today. Brad, you're an ER nurse, correct?
Correct.
And where are you at right now?
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. Now, if my information is correct, this is your very first travel contract.
This is true, yeah.
How'd that come about?
Well, getting into nursing, I always knew I wanted to travel. That was the goal from the get-go, and I always wanted to do ER. Well, I got fortunate. I went to like a really small community college and wasn't getting much experience in any type of busy ER, but luckily did my preceptor in Des Moines, which is the busiest ER in the state of Iowa, and got on there after my preceptor. And then about a year doing that, I started getting on a lot of the travel nurse Facebook groups and just kind of posted on there what my experience was, what my certifications were, and just kind of hope that I'd hear from someone. And I remember I was at a buddy's wedding and I got the Facebook message from Jennifer, and well, we looked for the next few months, and obviously I had only been a nurse for a year at the time, so I knew it was going to be difficult. But after about, I don't know, almost 6 months of looking, we found this one in Santa Fe, and first offer I had, and I took it.
Awesome. So how long exactly were you a nurse before you took this first contract? Was it a year?
My first contract start date was exactly a year and a half after I became a nurse.
There you go. So that kind of holds true. Like, a year or more. That do you feel now that you've been there? How long have you been there now?
Just over 2 months.
Do you feel like after you've gotten settled in 2 months? I mean, you're 2/3 of the way through you're 2/3 of the way through the contract. Do you feel like you had the background that you needed in order to take that contract? Well,
so the first week was extremely overwhelming, and I didn't know if I was ready, and I didn't feel ready at the time. But I actually came from Des Moines is a lot bigger than Santa Fe, so it was a level 2 trauma center, and really the only reason why I wasn't a level 1 is because of neuro research. We got a decent amount of traumas, so like the acuity level was higher in Des Moines, but the patient number that I have here is probably higher, the amount of patients I take care of. So it was just really an adjustment period for the first few weeks to find out where everything is. And since then, they have me in the team 1 trauma team, whatever, every single night. So yeah, I think I was ready.
This has just came up a lot recently, so that's why I ask.
Yeah.
There are so many nurses out there that just are right there on the edge, right? That just can stay perm or take the jump. And you took the jump.
Yeah, well, and I think that 6 months where I was looking around was very helpful because I got my mindset ready for starting to travel. So I would take the initiative, I think, more at work to learn things that I didn't know just in case they came up future assignments. I know with travelers, you kind of expect them to know a little bit more, so I didn't want to be a hindrance to my team.
So this is another question that we ask brand new travelers. What's your why? Why did you want to do this?
Well, several reasons, honestly. When I first went to school at Iowa State, I studied abroad in Australia for 6 months. And then as soon as that happened, I'm like, I got to get a job where I could go see more places. This was something I need to do. Well, that career field didn't exactly work out for me. I bounced around, did a bunch of odd jobs, and went back to school again when I was 26, got my nursing degree, and then decided from the get-go, I went in knowing I was going to travel. I wanted to see as much of the U.S. as I can, I also learned when I was in nursing school, I dealt with a lot of geriatric patients, and I've talked to them, what would you do if you could do it again? And everyone was traveling. So I just thought, why not? And obviously the pay increase doesn't hurt my feelings either.
Exactly. That's another thing we talked about too. Like it's not a shame to say like, I want to make more than a perm staff nurse, right?
Yeah.
You have the freedom. It's you and a dog, right? And
yeah,
you got the freedom to go and do it. Why not make more money?
Everyone says, oh, I wish I could travel. I wish I could travel. I'm like, I'm getting paid to do it. So why not? And like, I would have never put myself in New Mexico before this, but it's a beautiful country here. Like, I'm really enjoying it.
That's what I've heard. I've never been down there myself, but we do a ton of business down there. Like we have a ton of business down there, and they all really, really enjoy it. Oh yeah,
I've met a lot of travelers here so far. That's kind of like a core group of friends that we hang out with. When you meet each other, you all have similar mindsets, and so you tend to get along pretty well.
Yep. So traveling with the dog, how is that? That's another thing that comes up a lot.
Yeah, that was tough at first. So I've had Rudy since right here.
Rudy.
I've had him since he was 5 months old. I adopted him. He's almost 10 now. And his whole life, I've lived with roommates. So he's never been home alone. So this was a big adjustment period for him. So the first week or two was rough. I know he was definitely having some separation anxiety, barking a lot, and he's a beagle, so they tend to howl and everyone can hear him. Mm-hmm. So that was hard at first, but honestly, after 2 weeks, he's taken it great and he's adjusted well. They have amazing dog parks here in town. So we actually went on a hike 2 days ago. It's like attached, like the trail's attached to a dog park, and it was really awesome.
Excellent. I mean, that comes up like more than you know. I mean, I'm sure that was probably one of the things that you researched in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I looked at people to take him from me before I left, just because I just didn't know if I could deal with it. I didn't know how easy it would be. Luckily, my first travel assignment happened to also be where my cousin moved just about a year ago here to Santa Fe. So I had someone in town already who was just fortunate. And then now I've met these travel nurses. They all love Rudy. And so they said anytime I'm gone or need a dog sitter, they said they'd be more than happy to take him. So I've got 3 or 4 lined up already.
That is cool. It just works out.
Yeah, it did. You just got to kind of go for it. You'll figure it out. Everything. I mean, when I started the first travel assignment, I got 2.5 weeks notice from the hospital. They wanted me to start. So I had to quit my job, find a place to live, get all the arrangements, all my paperwork, the initial paperwork. I didn't sleep for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was absolutely nerve-wracking. Rent a U-Haul, like all this stuff. But it all worked out. You just got to try it. I mean, usually the best things in life are pretty scary.
Yeah, and you got to have that flexibility, right? Just believe that it's going to happen. If this is what you really want to do,
yep,
both feet all in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree.
All right, so we got to talk about this. What is this Chicago White Sox, brother? Oh my gosh.
Well, growing up in Iowa, we don't have any pro teams, so basically you have some type of experience that makes you pick a team, and it was my first Little League team, and so I stuck with it ever since.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, I had to buy a T-shirt to be on the team that was White Sox, so it's like, well, there it is. I just stuck with it.
And anybody that knows me, I've talked about this so much that, I grew up in small town Kansas.
Uh-huh.
We got cable when I was 10 years old. So before it was just, the dial and, however many channels. This makes me sound so old. So we got cable when I was 10 years old, 1984, WGN. And that's how I started following.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then.
No, I grew up, my grandpa was a huge Cubs fan, and that was one of the memories I always had growing up. The Cubs game was always on the television. WGN, that was the only station that was ever on whenever we went over there.
Your grandpa sounds like a very smart man.
Yeah, he was.
All right. So the last question, and I ask every nurse this, or everyone that we've talked to on the Atlas Life, we've asked this. If there's one thing, and we may have touched on it already, who knows? What's the one thing that's taking you the longest to learn through all of this?
That's tough. Because I feel like, going through this experience and knowing people that have thought about doing it, there's every time something comes up, you think, but I'm like, I got to tell them this. I got to tell them this. And I don't know, like the skills are the same wherever you go. So work, once you got used to the facility and the rules and regulations of that hospital, that's been easy. I think, learning to be completely on your own and branching out and starting from scratch and finding friends. I mean, I've always been a people person, make friends pretty easily, but it's a totally different animal when you got nothing, start absolute nothing and just meeting people and how to do that. I think you just got to be super friendly and ask people to do stuff, That's the way it's gone so far. Now found hiking buddies, and like I said, lots of travel nurses I've met that we hang out now. So that was, I would say, the hardest part, but also the most enjoyable.
Well, and as long as you realize, and somebody told me this way early on, that they're all in the same boat you are, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That makes, like I said, we all have similar mindsets, so it made it pretty easy to get along with them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jen talks about you very highly. She, when we first started talking about doing this, a couple months back, said, okay, Brad's going to get settled in here or whatever. And then I want him, he should do this. And I said, absolutely. Just when he's ready, I'm ready. And so I'm very happy that you were with us today. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I love that you just took the leap, man. I love that, a couple of years in, you did it and you're having a great time.
Absolutely. No, I love it. And you guys have been very great to me. So I appreciate that.
Hopefully we'll keep it up. So
sounds good.
If you ever need anything, you know where we are.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thanks.
Thanks, Brad. We'll see you on the road.
See ya.